If you have a ton of documents and photos and you're running out of storage space on your laptop or even on your mobile phone, or you just need a place to back them up, then a NAS is a great solution. And if you've been intimidated by NASs before because they're complicated or hard to set up, the good news is the UGREEN NASync DXP4800 Plus is the most beginner-friendly NAS you can find. UGREEN is sponsoring this video so that I can show you how easy it is to get started with a NAS, from unboxing to transferring files. Plus, I'll show you some of the other cool features built in. So let's go ahead and get started and unbox the NASync DXP4800 Plus and see what we have. In the top of the box, we have the user manual, along with a power brick and power cable. There's a little screwdriver and some screws that can be used for mounting 2.5-inch drives, and two nice Ethernet cables for connecting to your router or computer. And finally, the NASync 4-bay device. And I just have to say, this is really the nicest looking NAS that I have seen. The outside case is a solid aluminum piece that gives this a premium feel and look. On the front, there are four 3.5-inch disc bays with a modern font that clearly identifies each bay, along with two USB ports and an SD card slot. On the backside, there's a magnetic dust filter that simply pops right on and stays in place. This is really a nice touch because most NAS devices pull air in from the front side past the drives and then out the back without any kind of dust filter. With this setup, there should be less dust buildup over time and should keep the device cooler and quieter as a result. Also on the backside, there are two Ethernet ports, one for 2.5 gigabits and one for 10 gigabits. There's three USB ports and an HDMI out. As far as specs go on the DXP4800 Plus, it features a 5-core 12th gen Intel CPU with 8 gigabytes of DDR5 memory, which is expandable all the way up to 64 gigabytes. That not only powers all the storage for your files and your backups, but also has pretty cool AI feature stuff built in that I'll show you in just a moment. As far as storage capacity goes, this NASync device can hold up to 112 terabytes of storage using the front 3.5-inch bays or the bottom M.2 slots that you can find by opening up the screws at the bottom of the device. That's the equivalent of storing up to 39 million photos, or 117 million files, or 76,000 movies. But getting your drives installed couldn't be simpler. You simply push on the bottom of the tray to unlock it and pull it out. On the bottom of the tray is a little tab that you push to slide the disk mount out, allowing you to insert the drive in the tray and then lock it in place. Then just align the drive into the slot, and when seated, push the top to secure it. And then do the same thing for one or more drives. Last, all you need is the power cable and an Ethernet connection to your router or switch. Now we just need to hit the power button to turn this thing on, and as you will see, this is the most beginner-friendly NAS to get set up and start using. Now, once you hear the beep, you'll know you're ready to open up a web browser and go to find.ugnas.com, where your browser will then scan for your device on your network. And once it finds it, go ahead and click Connect. Check if you agreed to the user agreement and then click on Start. Go ahead and give your device a name, then an admin name, and a secure password. Here you can register for your UGREEN cloud account so that you can remotely access your NAS files and photos from anywhere. You can sign up now or complete this later in the NASync control panel. Next, select your update preferences and click on Initialize. This process is going to run for a few minutes, and when it's done, you're ready to get started with your new NAS. Now the first thing we need to do is create the storage pool and volume that you will want to use to actually store all your files on. To do that, go ahead and open up the Storage Manager, if not already open, and click on Create. This is going to ask you to select a RAID type, and you may have different options depending on how many disks you have installed. I'm going to use the recommended RAID 5, and then I'm going to add all 4 of the disks I put inside the NASync. You can choose here to do a full scan of all of the disks to verify all the blocks, or you can skip it for now. Next, select the capacity of the volume you want to create, and select your preferred file system. If everything looks good here, click on Done, and it will ask for your password because all data on the disks will be deleted to create the new volume. And there you have it. With the volume created, you're going to want to create a folder that can be shared or accessed from all of your devices. To do that, we are going to use File Manager, and when you open it for the first time, it's going to tell you the difference between folder types. Essentially, a shared folder is where you can put stuff that other users can access, and personal is where your personal photos, videos, or backups can go. We are going to start with a shared folder, so hit the plus icon, then create a new shared folder. Go ahead and give the folder a name, and since you only have a single volume, just hit Create. Here you can give access to other users if you have created any, and hit OK. If you want to create other users, you can do that by going to Control Panel, and then User Management, then click on the Add button and Create. Give the user a name and password, and choose an admin or non-admin role. You can also enable their personal folder here. Hit next and then go ahead and give the user access to the shared folder we just created. And the last thing we need to do before we connect to the shared folder from our computer is to enable SMB, or the file sharing protocol. From Control Panel, select File Service, and in the SMB tab, check on Enable SMB Service, and then click Apply at the bottom. Now the NASync is fully set up for file sharing, and we can connect from the Mac to the shared folder that we just created and start moving files over. There are a couple of ways to connect. First, you might see the NASync already show up in your Finder sidebar on the left, or when you click on the network icon. If you do, double-click the NAS and press Connect at the top right. Enter your username and password for the NAS, and now you can see the shared folder we just created. If for some reason the NAS is not showing in the Finder sidebar, you can connect by using the Go menu, and at the bottom, click on Connect to Server. Here you can type smb:// and the IP address of your NAS, then press on Connect and type your username and password. When done, you should see the shared folder, and it will also show in the Finder sidebar when connected. Now let's go ahead and do a file transfer speed test. But first, I do want to mention that the speed test with file transfers can vary depending on things like the Ethernet connection speed, the speed of your computer, or even the speed of the drives inside the NAS. For this test, I'm going to connect the 10 gigabit Ethernet port on the NAS to my computer using this Thunderbolt to 10 gigabit Ethernet adapter, which will give me the fastest connection speed to the NAS. If you don't think you need 10 gigabit Ethernet connection speeds, then you can also use 1 or 2.5 gigabit Ethernet using this USB-C adapter from UGREEN. And of course, you can always connect to the NAS using Wi-Fi as well, but the speeds may not be as great. So with being connected at 10 gigabits per second and the 4 drives in the NAS, I'm going to copy this folder, which has a bunch of files from a video project, including small files and very large video files, over to the projects folder I created on the NAS. At the bottom, I have the activity monitor opened so that we can see the transfer speed, and looks like I'm getting somewhere between 300 and 400 megabytes per second, which is really great for hard drives, and it completed in 2 minutes and 36 seconds. That is so fast, and if I wanted to copy that same data to iCloud or Google Drive, my internet upload speed is capped at about 5 megabytes per second, which would take about 3 or 4 hours to upload on a good day. So now let's say that we want to actually share the project files with someone. I can go to the folder inside File Manager, right-click the folder, and go to Share. Here I can select to share with other users of the NAS that already have accounts, or I can share with external users and send them a link that they can use to download the file directly from the NAS, as long as you have your UGREEN remote access configured inside of Control Panel. You can also set some security settings, like having the link expire after a certain amount of time, or setting a password, or just setting how many times a link can be accessed at all. That's how easy it is to get shared folders set up on your NAS and to share your files outside of your NAS if you want. And all of that is super simple and it works great. Now I do want to show you the Photos app and the AI Album Assistant, which helps you easily manage your photos. Once you have your photo library set up and added all your photos, you can then enable UGREEN's AI tools inside of Settings. All of these AI tools work on device completely without an internet connection and never uploads your data anywhere. Here you can choose whichever AI models you want to, including people recognition, which will help you find all of your friends and family quickly. You can also just search for whatever you're looking for, and the AI will pull everything it can that matches it, like this fruit. But there's also text recognition, so it can also find all of your photos that include the text of what you're searching for. That's pretty cool. So everything that I've shown you so far has been inside of a web interface. However, there are apps for desktop and mobile devices to do the same thing, like look at your photos and access your files from anywhere. You get all of the same AI features inside of Photos, like people and object recognition, and you can even share files when you need to right from your phone. And if you thought that this was all the NASync could do, well, you'll be happy to know that there are so many more features of the NASync. You can use it to back up your computer automatically, or play videos through the HDMI port. There's a full app center to find and download apps and utilities that you can run directly on the NAS, like a download manager. You can run a ton of utilities using Docker, and with the upgradable SSD storage and memory up to 64 gigabytes, you can really do a ton of stuff with the NASync DXP4800 Plus, including running full virtual machines. And if you want to see more on that, let me know down below. So yeah, this NASync box can do a lot of different things, none more important to me than providing a space for my backups for my photos and my videos, because I've lost files before and it's not fun. And World Backup Day is coming on March 31st as a reminder to make sure you have at least one backup of your important files and documents. So now's a great time to get your NASync set up and ready. Now look, as great as a NAS can be for storing all of your personal files and documents, none of that matters unless the system is secure and you trust it, right? Well, UGREEN has received 2 international authorized certifications for security, and it has built-in security manager that lets you configure always-on real-time protection, and you can run virus scans anytime you want to be sure your stuff is safe. So that is how easy it is to get up and running with the UGREEN NASync DXP4800 Plus, and it really is a great NAS for someone who wants to store or share their files without uploading stuff to the cloud. And it has all the advanced features you might want to do with it and more. The great news is that you can actually pick up this 4-bay NASync today and save 15% by using the links down below. So let me know if you have any more questions or want to know about a specific feature of the UGREEN NASync, and we'll see what we can do. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, hit subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.